Hi guys, I'm Kat and welcome back to my channel. Before I get started, I'm going to put in a little disclaimer. This video I have been avoiding making because what I'm about to talk about is actually very hard for me. To some people it's going to seem extremely dramatic that this is going to be difficult for me to make, but hopefully you'll start to understand as I explain. There may be some strong language and some emotions. Stop it. Stop biting me. And some emotions. He keeps trying to bite me. My cat, by the way. There might be some emotions, some strong language. Also, going to be drinking wine in my Creep It Real cup that has spiders on it. This is rosé. Because I am a 26-year-old genderless blob talking about something that is going to be really difficult for me to talk about. So I need something to help take the edge off. So, disclaimer over. Okay. I think I'm going to light this candle just to... This is a vanilla chai candle that I got from Michael's. Just to... I'm not procrastinating, you are. Candles lit. Okay. I've been walking around my apartment aimlessly, knowing I need to make this video. Well, I don't necessarily need to, but for me, I do need to, because I feel like it might be cathartic or helpful for me to talk about. I have a tendency of doing one of two things when it comes to high levels of emotion, because I have I have really bad depression and anxiety, and sometimes my response to emotion can be either very negative and like kind of negative and then really negative. So I either respond to extreme emotion with anxiety and stress. Even if it's a good emotion, I'll start to feel anxiety, because anything that I guess makes my heart race starts to give me anxiety. And my anxiety is bad enough to where if I even talk about having anxiety or panic, I start to get anxiety. And so right now I'm starting to get anxiety. Or I respond to extreme emotion by completely shutting down. I'll just, I call it basic robot emotions: happy, sad, angry, basically. Just those three emotions completely. And lately I've been floating between the two throughout the entire last 2 weeks. So the reason for that is because I have been working, and I'm just going to say Blue, I've been working at Blue for 3 years. This is actually the first time I've ever worked at a place for longer than a few months. I used to be what I like to call a job hopper, where basically I'd be somewhere for maybe 3 to 6 months, then I'd self-sabotage, fail at something, and then I'd quit. Because it's kind of hard to explain to someone who might not understand. So failure to some people, to normal people, the way they process it is they fail and then they just get back up and try again. But for me, I process it like it's the most detrimental thing in my life. I've actually tried to explain it to someone, and I told them that I respond to failure worse than I respond to death, which sounds insane. So basically, I don't process death very well. I usually will shut down, or I'll make really horrible, crude, gallows humor jokes to get through it. But sometimes it seems like I just don't care, like it doesn't bother me. But when I fail at something, I almost process it like someone died. It's almost like my brain reacts as if someone died. And it's a lot worse. And then I fall into this deep, dark, depressive hole, and I start hating myself and questioning everything in my life, my relationships, my job, my life, my existence. What's the point? It's really dark. And even if I failed even the slightest bit at any job, even if it was something small, I would self-sabotage. I'd start to question myself, and then I'd just stop going to work because I'd figured there's no point. I'm going to fail anyway. So I'm sure there's other people out there who have this fear of failure or just don't process failure well. And I think it's because I set such high expectations for myself. Because like expectations of other people and imperfection in their eyes mean nothing to me. But if I set expectations for myself and I don't reach them, I hate myself. Like I will hate myself. And even though logical brain that's in there, because I do have one, tells me, like you're not going to reach that expectation. You're setting it too high for yourself. The louder voice, the self-sabotage, I hate myself voice, is louder and is like, no, she has to reach. If she doesn't, she's a failure. She's not worth it. So, or I'm not worth it. So I was a job hopper a lot. And then I started working at Blue. When I got hired there, I was in a very dark, very bad place. And honestly, I didn't expect to stay there for more than a few months because that was my MO. But when people say that you start to kind of become the people you surround yourself with, I think that's true. Because I started working with very independent, strong, opinionated women who didn't take any shit from anyone and were very supportive of each other and also of themselves. And I started to notice over time that I was becoming that person too. But honestly, the beginning of working there was really hard for me. My mental state was not healthy, but also the manager before, like mine right now, she was an interesting person. They would actually purposefully put new people on an island, because everybody there was friends. They had all been working together. And they would purposefully put someone on an island separate from theirs, and they wouldn't like really talk to them unless that new person had a question or something like that. They wouldn't really talk to them. And they did this on purpose, so that way that, I guess in my mind, I think it's because to make sure that the associate understands that, you know, these are your coworkers, managers, stuff like that, before we're friends. I don't know if that was why or if it was just like a mean version of hazing, but I remember that feeling and feeling like I was an island and like I wasn't wanted and like nobody cared about me or wanted me there. And I almost quit because of that reason. And I'm really glad that I didn't, because I have become a better person because of this job, but it was really hard in the beginning. And luckily my manager and I, as the store manager and the assistant, decided not to do that anymore, because we both experienced this and it sucked and it hurts a lot when you feel like you don't matter. Like, especially when you're already someone who's in a dark place, you're dealing with depression already and self-loathing, and then that happens. It's like, well, fuck, like, I guess I don't matter. But luckily I pushed through and we did all eventually become friends. And I went from being there for a few months to suddenly was 6 months. And then it was a year, and then it was a year and a half, and then 2 years, and then 3. And I remember in 2017, through the entire year, I wrote myself a daily note every day. And each month that passed, I'd be like, I've been here for 1 month. I've been here for 2 months. I remember when I hit my 1 year mark and it blew my mind. And even then, I didn't think I was going to stay. And then, you know, a lot of things happened that weren't that great, but a lot of the best moments in my life were at Blue. Both good and bad have helped me grow into the person I am now. I met my best friend there, who is my manager now, and she has helped me become a really strong individual that believes in myself and finds hope in things when it doesn't feel like there is any hope. She's a lot of the reason I'm in this apartment that I'm in, because before I moved here, I never thought that I could take care of myself, honestly. I hated myself. I honestly didn't expect to live very long. I never thought I was capable of things, and she believes in me and believed in me so much that it actually helped me believe in myself. And now I've been here in this apartment for over a year, and it's been such a huge growing experience for me, and I've learned so much about myself because of it. But also, for a while I was taking classes to get my diploma, and a lot of the reason I started to do that was because of her, and going to the gym and trying to be healthier, and sorry, and trying to be more accepting of things. Like, I'm a super accepting person, but she's helped me become more accepting, and helped me see things in a way that I find I was probably very close-minded about before. And that's really, really cool to have someone who helps you learn and grow without being forceful, and just like allows you to believe what you want to believe, but also allows you to grow into someone. And her and I have grown a lot together. I think she's helped me become a gentler person. I've always been kind and gentle, but sometimes I can be aggressive and I can get irritated really quickly because people upset me, and I'm very vocal about it. Usually when someone irritates me, I say it, but she's helped me learn how to pick my battles better, basically. And she's always believed in me, and that's really important to me, especially when you're someone who doesn't believe in yourself at all. It's really important to have someone who does, because eventually you learn. I met another best friend who, she is a lot like me. At first I didn't like her, and I know she didn't like me, but finding someone who, I'm a very honest person, almost bad. It's both a good and a bad thing. And meeting someone who's just like you like that is scary and refreshing, because she's also very honest. She's also very opinionated and vocal. She's very smart and funny, and just someone that, if you called at 4 a.m., she would come and pick you up if you needed her to. Finding someone who's that genuine from the very beginning is very important, because I was actually talking to her, I think yesterday, about how the older you get, the more you start to realize how important your time is, and how much you don't want to waste your time on anything, whether it be a situation, a job, or a person, mostly. Because when you get close to someone and then all of a sudden you're not close to them anymore, it feels like you wasted your time that you could have spent doing something else. And as you get older, you start to realize how important that is. And I think that's why a lot of adults have less really close relationships, because they start to realize that they don't want to waste their time. And finding someone who's also like-minded is very important, and I feel very lucky to have her. Most of my best friends are from Blue. Another one who is an amazing photographer, and the reason I'm not saying names is because I didn't ask if I could, but another one, she's an amazing photographer, and she's so goofy and weird, and just, she's kind of an ever-changing storybook, which is interesting. It keeps it interesting, and it keeps it fun. And she's also got my dark humor, and will laugh with me about dark things, and I can talk to her about some of the darkest parts of my mind, and she doesn't look at me like I'm crazy. She looks at me like she understands. And that's beautiful, to have someone who also lives in darkness, so they understand where you're coming from. And that's amazing. And then another one of my friends a lot of my friends are spooky. We're all kind of spooky weirdos. And she is super talented. She makes dolls, like these voodoo dolls, that are amazing. And I actually think I'll link her Etsy shop below so you can see it, because it's really great. She's super creative. She's really kind and really accepting of people, and I think that's beautiful, to have someone who's just so accepting of someone. But she seems like she's small, and like you can overtake her or steamroll over her, but she's got fire and the voice of a champion, and I think that's amazing. All of these beautiful people that I've met, that have become like my family, have taught me so many different things that are really important. And so when they do say, like I said before, you become the people you're surrounded with, I think that's true. And you need to surround yourself with people who support you no matter what, but will also tell you when you fuck up, and will tell you when you need to change your tune, will tell you when you've been on a really bad path and you need to fix your shit. Someone who will help you figure out the best solution for things. Someone who you can sit there and pro and con with, and they'll be honest with you. Like, someone who sees your insanity, accepts it, but also understands it, and also tries to continue to learn about it. Like, my best friend, she has never had a panic attack before. She doesn't exactly know what anxiety feels like. And what's lovely is that even though she doesn't know like what that feels like, she'll still, if I start to have anxiety or get panicky at work, she'll try to make an effort to make me feel better. And she'll Google things to help me, and she'll listen to me, and do whatever she can to help me. And having someone or people, because all of the girls are like that, having people who are willing to listen to you and understand you, especially when they've never experienced anything like that before, is really important. And so I feel very lucky that it's really rare to have a job where you find some of your best friends in your life that you know are going to be part of your life for the rest of it. Even if you maybe don't see each other all the time, they're still going to be a part of you and a part of your life no matter what you do. And that's what Blue has brought to me. But also, Blue has taught me how to not underestimate myself, how to not set such, like, I still set really high expectations, but the job has helped me learn to sort of forgive myself when I don't reach them. And it's taught me how that I'm capable of so much that, like, before, I remember talking to my best friend when she was a sales lead, and we talked about not wanting to be an assistant manager or a store manager because it just seemed so stressful. And then here we are, flash forward, we're both the assistant manager and the store manager, and I feel like I remember when I accepted becoming a sales lead to become a manager in the first place. And I remember I was so excited to be promoted that I didn't really even think about what it meant. And I remember just questioning myself and thinking I couldn't do it, that I wasn't capable. And it wasn't because nobody told me. It wasn't because people thought I wasn't. It wasn't because they didn't believe in me. It was because I didn't believe in myself. It was because I hated myself and I didn't think I was worth the time or the effort, and I didn't think I could do it. I thought I was worth just being someone small, basically. And this job has definitely taught me that no, don't accept being small. Unless you are comfortable there and you want to be small, that's fine. But don't let yourself crush you down into a small person. You have to allow yourself to be successful and support your own come up, and to understand that you are capable of more than what you think. And when I became a manager, I started to learn so much more about myself, that I could handle situations that I never thought I could. I could creatively think through ways. I could come up with plans and solutions in a way that I never thought I could. And it's really taught me, I feel like it's taught me to become a better, more patient person. I've become significantly more patient than I used to be, and I do owe that up to becoming a manager, because there's so many things that go into it that you don't think about when you're an associate. You don't think about some of the things that a manager has to deal with until you become one, and then you realize, well, damn, like, you know, me quitting suddenly, and then like them having to deal with that. Like, now I know how it feels when someone randomly quits, how to like to deal with that, and it fucking sucks, and now I feel like an asshole for it. Or like when people don't show up, when you have to change a schedule, like payroll, paperwork, emails, like things that get messed up, things that you don't usually have to deal with as an associate. And I feel like those things have really set me up for success in the future, and I think that's really good to have. Now, of course, like with any job, there was a lot of negative times, things that happened that were really hard and painful, and coworkers who like to pick fights and take people down with them and not take acceptance for the part that they've played, or people who have had bad experiences happen in their life and want to take everybody down with them because they don't want to be alone. And I feel lucky that I'm someone who tries to understand why people react the way they do. I don't think that someone's an asshole just to be an asshole. I always think there's a reason behind it, and so I understand that. But like, I don't stand for bullshit, and I'm someone who's also very honest, and it's really hard for me not to be. And when it comes to someone who is ruining my integrity and my name, that pisses me off. And so, but the great thing about that, even though like those things sucked, what they taught me was how to deal with situations like that now. How to handle them, how to talk to people, how to get through them, who to talk to, the right channels to take, the patience I need, a higher level of understanding. And so whenever something negative happens to you, there's always some kind of positive outlook. There's always some kind of knowledge that comes from it, because For example, if someone breaks up with you or you lose a job, those things really suck. But if you lose your job, then you can find something better and learn from why you lost your job and do better about it. Or if someone breaks up with you, then you can find the value in yourself, and you can figure out the things that you don't want or you don't need, or find a strength within yourself that you didn't know that you had. Like there's always a learning experience. At first it feels so detrimental to your life, and like that pain is never going to go away, and that can be said about so many things in life. But there's always some kind of strange, fucked up, twisted silver lining within it that you'll see once you get past that. You just have to hold on long enough to get past it, because I feel like it's easy to let go. It's easy to try not to push forward. It's easy to just kind of stay in that place than it is to move forward. I think it takes more bravery and courage to move forward despite feeling anxiety or depression, or despite feeling such deep sadness that you don't want to move. I feel like moving forward takes more courage and strength than just sitting still. That quote that says, it takes more courage to let go than it does to hold on, that sometimes when you hold on, it hurts more. So I feel like that's something that you could use in any life, and bad experiences can teach you how to do that. Even though they're bad and they suck, they can teach you to do that. And I feel like any negative experience that ever happened at Blue has really helped me learn from those things and learn positive things from those negative things, and I feel very, very proud of that. Also, learning the things that I did at Blue Boutique, the things that people don't know. There is not enough education, especially in Utah, that people should know. People who are older than me, who should know certain things, it surprises me that they don't. And the beautiful thing is, this job has taught me the value of knowledge. Knowledge is literally power. The more knowledge you have, the more power you have. And there's no cap of knowledge or experience. You can always learn something new. You can always become better at something. No matter what you do, you can always become better. You can become better than the person you were before, as long as you want to stay in the pursuit of knowledge. And this job has really shown me the importance of that. But also, something that's extremely important about this job for me personally is that when you work with people every day, and your job is to create this safe, sex-positive place where people can be who they are and not have to worry about being judged. That, finding a self-love and a confidence within, like helping them find a self-confidence and a self-love within themselves is really intoxicating, because it helped me find more of a self-love and confidence and acceptance within me. I mentioned before in one of my videos about my gay story that I never had to really question my sexuality. I never have. I'm really lucky for that. But it has helped me. But the job, even though I've known about my sexuality, I've always accepted it. The job has helped me accept it in a deeper, more fond, appreciative way, and to not be confused about it, and to not be worried about how people think of it. Because honestly, when you try to explain to people that you feel like you're this genderless queer blob that doesn't identify under anything, whether it be sexuality or sexual preference, some people look at you like you are crazy and like you don't exist. And I hate when people tell me that I'm wrong for that, or that I can't do that, because I do it every day, so obviously it's possible. But also, who are you to tell me about my own sexuality and my sexual preference, basically? But this job has really taught me that a deeper understanding and a deeper acceptance with myself. It's also helped me find this self-love journey that I needed to go on, which it wasn't just the job that taught me that. There was also this YouTube channel by a creator named Sierra wow, I can never say her name the first time. Sierra Schultze, that really helped me find my self-love journey. So that YouTube channel, combined with working at an adult store and helping people find self-love and acceptance, has really helped me find this journey. Now, I'm still on this journey, and I'll probably be on this journey for a really long time, but I've noticed such a difference within myself while being on this journey. because the journey of self-love is a constant one. It's not like all of a sudden one day you're like, I love myself, I'm not depressed, no more anxiety, it's gonna be great. Like, that never happens. If anybody is that well adjusted, I need them to like give me a phone call or a text or an email or a smoke signal, because I need you to help me figure out my shit. Because this, like, for example, before I started, I hated, like, I'm still not, my self-esteem about my body is not the greatest still, but before, I hated my body. I would wear clothes that would cover the shape of my body because I didn't like it. I would not wear, like, I would always wear makeup. I would always have to have my hair done. Like, I needed it to look as close to perfect as I could, which was tiring and stressful and really painful for my self-esteem. And I noticed over time, working at Blue, I started to find a self-acceptance within myself and a self-love. Like, for example, like, I used to have to wear makeup every day. And then there was one day where I was too late for work and I couldn't do my makeup and I had to go to work without makeup on. And I was more worried about the way people were looking at me and thinking I was ugly than I was for myself, which is the stupidest fucking thing ever, because this is my face. And if I love my face the way it is, then everybody can just fuck off. Like, why does that matter? And that day, it bothered me that I kept looking in the mirror. Like, do I look tired? Do I look awful? Like, how bad do I look? And that day I was like, this needs to change. And so I started to challenge myself to, like, not wear makeup one day of the week. And then it turned into 2 days and then 3 days and then eventually whole weeks. And it was like, you can either get up early and do your makeup or sleep in, and usually sleep in like 1. So there's that. And then there was one day, and this was the moment I noticed that I was more comfortable with my body, was there was a rave at a bar called Area 51 that was doing like a thingy, like a themed night. And we were trying to do like a themed rave, and we were trying to do like pictures of people wearing costumes, like building costumes so they could come in. And I liked when we took pictures of like me, because every girl on the team has a different body shape. And I think it's really important to not just show like smaller skinny girls, but also to show more plus size curvy girls, because it's really important for everybody to have that representation. And so I put together this outfit, and it was like this black bralette with this high-waisted, really tiny mini skirt, black underwear, and like a long cape skirt. And we needed to take a picture, but the lighting was bad in the store, so we went outside. This was a moment for me that made me realize that I had become more comfortable within myself, because my body was very, very exposed. Like, so very exposed. But I was fine. I was comfortable. It was cold outside, but I was cool. And that was a moment for me where I realized I would have never done that a year ago or 2, like, ever. And so I was really proud of myself that I did that. And so if I wouldn't have started at Blue, I don't think I'd be who I am now. I don't think I'd be strong. I don't think I'd be on the self-love journey. I don't think I'd believe in myself even when things get hard. I don't think I'd hold like as much hope as I have. I wouldn't have the people I have in my life that I have that are super important to me. I wouldn't have a lot of experience that I have now. And it's super hard to talk about everything that's happened within Blue, because so much happened within 3 years. But the fact of the matter is, I'm terrified, because tomorrow, Monday, the 7th of September, is my last day there. And I'm starting a new job on Tuesday. Leaving something that you're so comfortable with is terrifying. Especially when you're someone who's so scared of failure. It's really hard. Like, the past 2 weeks, I have questioned if the decision I made was the right one. And I keep going back and forth trying to figure out if that's something that I could not do. And I got an email from the owner of the store and a phone call from the general manager, and I don't think they're trying to make me change my mind, but it's been definitely like very hard for me to not change my mind, because I know why I did this. I know why. Sorry, my camera cut off because it ran out of memory, but I know why I did this. I know why I looked for other opportunities. I'm aware of that. And I know that it's to help me build a brighter, bigger future. But the thought of leaving Blue and not seeing my girls every day is very hard for me. I'm so afraid of losing them that it's almost making me choose to stay. And that can't be the reason why. You can't stay just because you're comfortable. If you're someone who's okay with just staying, doing something because it's comfortable, then that's fine. But I feel like when you stay and you become comfortable, you become stagnant. And I genuinely feel like I have kind of become stagnant. I started at Blue Boutique when I just turned 22 years old in November, and then I got hired in January. And January 31st. I've spent the better part of my early 20s there. And I've grown up so much. This job has definitely helped me become an adult in a way that I should have been before. And I appreciate that so much. And this job wasn't just a job for me. And a lot of people are like, this is just a job. Why are you making such a video about a job? Because it wasn't a job for me. Not just a job. It became a part of me. And it always will be. Like, all the time. It's not like I'm just going to disappear and not show up and randomly go in. Like, that's definitely not what's going to happen. I'm always going to show up and still annoy them as much as I can. It's just not being there every day. And I'm sure first few months I'm going to become depressed for a little while. And that's just going to be another learning experience for me. And even though I'm terrified of that, it'll be a good thing. But you can't start a new chapter if you don't close an old one. And in the future, if they wanted someone to become a store manager for one of the other stores, I would be open to that. I really would. I would be open to running one of the stores if they needed me to. If they needed me to, I'd be super ready for it. Because I have the experience. I'm really good at it. My numbers are amazing. So, if they wanted me to be there, I would do it. In a heartbeat. Because they have not just become a previous job, they've become my family. And that's basically it. And you know the whole cliches. When one door closes, another door opens. So, I guess that's it. I don't know how I'm going to get through tomorrow. I will. I just don't know how. But thank you for joining me in this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're someone who's been through something similar or has any advice or encouraging words, I would love to hear them. And this year has been such a year. And I'm sure everybody's excited for it to be over. Not that I think 2020 is going to be any different, but I'm sure everybody's excited for it to be over. But I'm going to go and make some toast because toast has become my anxiety food. I'm going to finish this glass of wine, probably watch a horror movie, and just kind of reflect and tell myself it's going to be okay, because it will be. So, I hope you have a wonderful day and a beautiful night. And this is Kat signing off. Bye. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Socrates.